kita dulu habis sih. Hierband kita dulu habis.
That's better. All right. I think that's pretty good. Hi, Needy. Welcome. So Needy and Kaina, I'm going to do a demonstration on using pen and ink today. These tools. You two are welcome to either work with charcoal or work with pencil, doing the normal. So you'll have, ultimately, I'm going to give you, hi. So ultimately, I'm going to give you a gridded drawing like this, or like this, right? You'll get a picture of that, but today I'm going to be demoing ink, but you do not have to, Needy, particularly you're new, so you should just watch. And then when it's time for you to do the drawing, do it in pencil with the grid.
Okay.
Yeah. How's the day going, guys?
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, for me, it was a bit taxing.
Yeah. What happened today?
Lots of stories to file. Yes. No, it was like I had to write some data-driven stories, so I had to analyze data, and it comes in a very raw form, so I need to give it a proper shape as well.
Right. So hectic day.
Can very taxing for the
I
eyes.
forget, Needy, you do
Yes,
economic
somewhat.
news? Do you do economic news?
Yes. Yeah.
So how are the economics of the world these days? Can you tell anything?
It's slow, very slow,
Yeah.
because of the lockdown when there is no demand. So
So it's
everything
interesting.
is
My
like,
business is
there's no
massive.
demand, and the refine.
That's
Yes.
interesting because my business is booming.
So for all those people, yes, yours and maybe UDMI, the online classes.
Yeah.
For various short-term courses, that's also,
Booming.
And even like some in the computer side as well, like those who are into the business of, installing machines for others and all those kind of things, they are also good business. So yes,
Right.
all those activities,
Right.
are
It's
getting
interesting.
good
It's interesting.
attention.
Some are big.
Yes.
Yeah. Some are really big. And it's not just teaching classes.
Yes.
My art business is booming. I mean, I mostly make a living selling paintings, and I've sold more paintings this year than in any year.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, lots of people are buying art. Yeah, it'd be an interesting story to explore. I don't know. I mean,
no, there are people writing on this, how the life of the artist have changed during COVID-19. So maybe what I'll do is I'll give you this idea to people who are collecting information. They can contact you about this,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can only speak to myself, but I can tell you, and not all artists are doing well, but if you are an artist that has been positioning yourself online, you do well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is the opportunity to do really well. So like I sell stuff at like I now have live online parties, like where people have to, like basically fight for things, like a shopping channel. Like I've had record numbers of Etsy sales, and I've sold, I have stuff in 3 different websites kind of around the world. And it's I've been and a ton of commission work. And then like, it's interesting, like the art sales for me, it's probably the best year I've ever had. So I'm like,
oh, wow.
Oh I know. I'm like,
yes, yes. For some businesses, it is like that actually, some of my friends, those who are into the business of other things, they also say the same thing, that for others, it's like they are losing jobs, but we are hiring people,
Yeah.
There are some businesses which are actually doing very well.
Yeah.
Against
it's an
the trend,
interesting thing.
Yeah.
Hi, Tanya. Welcome.
No, I'll pass
Hi,
on.
Sandra. Hi, Philip.
Hi, Leah. Hi, guys.
Hey, guys. How's everybody doing? All right.
Well.
If you might all be in gallery view right now, you're going to see that there are two Leahs. There is a Leah demo, and I think you're now kind of used to this idea, and a Leah where you can see my face. Hi, Diana. So so today I am going to do a demo on how to use ink. For those of you who are new to drawing, or for those of you who don't have the materials, do not try to, you're just going to watch this. And we'll come back and do it in the future. For those of you who have the materials, we're using a Sumi brush, a dip pen, a bamboo dip pen, and ink. And also water. Actually, I have 2 jars of water.
Could I use watercolor?
It won't be the same, but you can try. Yeah. I mean, you could, but you could try. It's ink is so heavy and dark. So I mean, you could try it, absolutely. And then the most important thing, this is a piece of paper towel. I call it my blankie. You'll see why. Hi, Amy. So we've got Amy, Needy, Philip, Tony. Did anybody see what Tony and Rashmi did in figure drawing this week? It's phenomenal.
No.
Phenomenal. Such great work. Hello. Hi, Shivani. I'm glad you're still with us. We're just counting the days that we get to have you with us before you go back to China.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Anuja.
Hi. How's everybody?
Good.
I think we're doing good. So I was
Leah.
Yes.
Sorry, could you remind us which paper? Because I bought it a while ago and I can't remember which one it is.
Bristol paper.
Bristol, thank you.
Bristol paper. So yeah, so the paper, you guys will see. I'll have you turn to Leah demo when I'm doing this demo, but afterwards I will put up a regular source, gridded and outlined for you. So this will come up on the screen. Once I'm done with the demo, I will do a share screen and you guys start drawing. You have the option of just drawing with pencil the way you always do, doing a grid, or trying charcoal. So if you don't have these ink supplies, this is, but I want you to see how this works because ink is ink changes everything. That's all I will say. Ink changes everything, which is what the teacher who taught me how to use ink told me. I was like really nervous. Huh?
Can I use pastels for this? Just black pastels, or will it be weird?
I mean, pastels won't erase very well, but you can use whatever you want. Yeah, I would say try it. If that's what you've got, try it. We do know that cooking charcoal briquettes don't work. So, but yeah, if you want to, absolutely. So, and we will return to ink. I'm thinking in October, which is called Inktober, kind of around the world, we will return to ink subjects for that month. I'll do all the demos in ink. But once again, you guys don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm just trying to introduce things to you in like steps and stages, and then you can pick them up along the way. We're constantly picking up new people, that kind of thing. So I'm just sort of trying to find ways to bring back what's going on here. All right, so notice how you feel at the beginning of this class. And let's see if we can register any changes, maybe in the middle and definitely towards the end. So, all right, you know what? So go ahead and put me in speaker view. Hi, Natalia. Go ahead and click on speaker view. And then I want you to pin Leah demo so that you can see that big. You can see this screen big. Yeah, that's not too bad. I'm still working on the setup for these things, but we're getting better. Like you can't see what's down here. Here, this is my table down here. This is my setup down here. So I have 2 bottles of water. I've got this bamboo pen, and I have this brush, and then I have a bottle of ink. And then up here, I have the source the source here. This is my friend's cow in Scotland. Her name is Harry. I have, and notice this is a really great, there's a lot of nice black and white sort of dramatic contrast, which is what makes this good for ink. I have a piece of printer paper, just scrap paper, which I'm going to use for testing. It's very important that you have a bunch of this because the key to ink is to be able to test. And you know, Diana, it's the same with watercolor too. The key to ink and watercolor is to have testing paper so that before you put anything on the paper, right, which you can't erase, you're testing to see how dark or light it is. And then I've got this stuff called Bristol paper. It's very thick, hard paper. It feels kind of like, it's like cardboard a little bit, but thin. You can see
Is it like ivory paper?
It isn't really. It's its own thing. It's a special, you know, use what you have, but it's called Bristol. I'll, once again, after the class is over, I'll email you guys the recording and the supplies that you need for this class. So if you want to do it, we'll come back again to ink in
Leah,
September.
presumably the testing paper is not Bristol paper, is it?
No, it doesn't have to be Bristol paper. It
Okay.
can be anything. We're mostly testing for value. All right. So before we get started, I'm going to have my thing pointed down here just for a second so you can see how this is starting. Those of you who do have ink, I want you to start by dipping your brush right in your ink bottle, like here, and then actually just kind of making some marks on your testing paper. To get used to, in fact, you'll probably use up a whole thing of testing paper. Now this is just with ink. And then I want you to dip your brush with ink in the water and make more marks. And then I want you to dip it in the water again and make more marks. You're gonna see that as you do this, so you're just getting used to this. So, and I actually have two things of water here, right? Because my first water got too dark. Ah, yeah, there we go. So this, notice that now my ink is getting very light. So the key to what I like to call erasing with ink is that you start with very, very watery white outlines, which kind of disappear into the back of the paper. Yeah, see, I already need more paper. Hold on, I gotta go get a little bit more. And so the key to doing this, and I can actually at points even just dip into my inky water here, my water which has become inky, and like get a very light gray line, which as it dries gets lighter. You're also probably noticing that as your darks dry, they also get lighter. So the other mark making device we're going to use is this bamboo pen. So I'm actually literally, it's got a little ink well on either side. You can use either side. I'm literally, oh yes, I forget, this side doesn't work very well for me. My longer, skinnier side tends to work better. So I dip it in with my ink well facing up, and I literally can just make lines. I can make a few and then I have to dip back in again, kind of run out really quickly. So these are the two kinds of mark making that we're going to use today. But I want you to get used to it first. So for those of you using ink, go ahead and get started. Oh yeah, and I suppose while I'm here, I can show you. I'll go back, and if you want to make things darker, I went right back into the ink directly. I can go on top of this and make it darker. So this is also key. Because with the pencil and charcoal, you can erase things and start over. With ink and with watercolor as well, it's possible to go too dark. So the challenge is to start with very light outlines and then build up your darks. And I'll show you what I mean by that as we paint this cow. And just so that you know, I have never drawn this before. So you are going to watch me maybe make some mistakes as we're going along. And that is totally like a valid part of this process. I would actually rather see you guys watch me struggle a little bit. Notice, I'll try to note where that is so that when I'm doing the demo, you can see, as I'm doing the demo, you can see like, I'm just trying to get this perfectly situated. There we go. As I'm doing the demo, you can see, you know, how to avoid the mistakes that I'm making, basically. All right, so when I'm ready to start an ink drawing. Oh, and the other thing to know about your inks is that any area that's very bright or white, like say here or here, there we go. Any area that's bright or white, why is this looking? So there we go. All right, any area that's really white like this, you're not going to touch with, you're going to just keep white on your paper. All right, so you're going to avoid getting anything on the areas that are white. You're going to work around them. As you can see, as usual, I've kind of highlighted the major areas of light or dark here, so you guys will be able to follow along with me. So in paint, when we're working in charcoal, when we're working in pencil, when we're working in acrylic or oil paint, which most of you haven't done with me yet, but some of you have, or pastel, you are going to often layer darker colors in an area like this, and when they dry, you're going to put a lighter color on top, right? But in ink and watercolor, you cannot do that. So in ink and watercolor, the whites are just the white of the paper. They have no marks on them. So when you're doing that, so that's what you want to be careful about. All right, are we ready? We ready to start? I'm gonna like cut this. I'm gonna start actually by just drawing. This paper is a little bit longer than this, and I want to stay in similar proportions. All right, so I'm gonna start. So the painting is the drawing will end here. So I'm gonna start by, like the way I always have you do. Some of you are going to be using the grid and some of you are not, with a very light outline of the outer shapes of this cow. So if you're going to use pencil, you're going to use this same drawing. And notice I'm dipping my brush in water. I'm dipping my brush in the inky water, and I'm testing it to see if I have a light kind of gray line. All right, so I do. So I'm going to start by drawing this orange line, which is the outside edge. Oh, I might have gone too far. That might be okay. Let's try. That went a little too far. So notice the first thing, that's wonderful, the first thing that you get to see. So notice with my little blankie here, while the ink was still wet, I was able to wipe it mostly off. I'm going to try that again. I went a little too far. One. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's this line here and the little bump over the top of the head and the horn, and then here's the horn. And then it kind of comes down. Remember, I'm only, as always, and notice I'm getting this kind of very light outline. Now I am doing this facing up, so you're going to see drips happening, which I really don't mind in my drawing. If you want to control that, you want to actually have your paper straight on the table. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so here we are. We're coming around to the edge of Harry's snout. Harry is a very spoiled and loved cow. Her owners really love her, and she gets everything, everything she wants. Yeah. All right. So as simple as that, I've got this basic outline of the cow, and I'm basically getting that by dipping, not in my ink, but in my inky water. In a few minutes, this will dry. I noticed, for those of you who are noticing, I'm doing some kind of measuring here to make sure I've got things in the right places. That's about right. Okay, and then my next step is going to be to add these purple lines, which are the, can anybody tell me what these purple lines are doing? What are they doing? Can you see them? It's hard to see them.
No, we can't really see them.
Yeah. Okay, the purple lines are outlining the darkest area shapes of the cow, of Harry the cow. So that's like a horn. Here is the ear. Whoops. Notice how easy it is to get things a little too big. And then face comes down, like you will all be able to see this quite clearly. Oh, I just realized I think this needs to come down a little bit lower. So see how I'm kind of, that's already dry, but you see how I'm kind of extending this just a little bit? This is not going to be problematic. Still, always testing before I put any anything on my paper. So this is that little white triangle. There's a kind of white area here for the nose outline. Kind of half the nose is this sort of, half the nose is dark and half the nose is light. So just like when you're drawing with pencil, I'm having you draw, but with these very light ink lines. By the way, I don't know if I've told you, but I really love ink. I love it. So now I'm kind of getting the spots. I'm not getting into too, whoop, I went to. So this is an interesting thing. And I'm noticing this as I'm doing it. It's easy to make things too big. So notice my previous line came in too far. Harry needs a little bit more space here. But because I did this so light, I'll be able to go over these with darker things and it won't be such a big deal. It's really hard not to make things too big, particularly curved lines. Notice I'm really trying not to get anything in the white areas. So I'm trying to keep these white areas here preserved. Then she still feels like she's a little, so maybe I didn't need this, whatever. All right. See, I'm also very committed to the drawing at this point. So at this point, that's kind of the other thing that's interesting about ink. I kind of shortened her torso a little bit. So if I'm going to do that, I've got to like kind of work with that. So now we have the sort of light, basic, well, let's see, basic light and dark areas. Are there any others? Okay. So now that I've been able to do, and there's a little, well, that's kind of a medium area. Okay, so now that I have got the basic light and dark areas outlined, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to dip my brush. I'm going to dip my brush back in the ink. So I went right into the ink jar. That's going to be too dark. So I'm dipping once in water. Yeah, that's a nice. So see that this is darker, but not quite as dark. And now, oh yes, here's where we're going to have a lot of dripping. So I'm going to try and catch as much as I can to keep it from going in the, although mostly it's going into the dark side. Okay, there's an eye here. I want to be careful. The eye area, I want to go around. I'm going to get to that later. Although actually, this is going to dry fairly light. Nothing in that eye is too light. I'm still going to kind of keep it out. So here's where I'm imagining the eye is. area down here is light, so I don't want to get dark here. I'm going to dip back in my ink, back in my water, test. Okay, that's way too dark, so I'm going to go back in the water again. Even that is a little too dark. I'm going to go back in the water again. Kind of dark. Not everything in this nose is exactly dark, but I know that there's nothing lighter than this. So I'm uncomfortable with laying this down. I can't really see the eye. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Interesting way to see a drawing built. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. So here I've got the head kind of outlined, the basic darks and lights. The other thing I really like about ink, as I'm riffing and thinking about it, is that it really highlights for us. Now I need to get darker. Too dark. See how I'm constantly testing here? It highlights for us the bigger dark and light shapes, and I really like anything that does that. So now I'm kind of coming around and doing this. And now I'm dipping into the ink and the water maybe once. I'm going to go over with another layer. There is a medium light area down here for the moment that I'm going to leave, but I'll probably end up putting some color in there. But I want to wait until I get my darks. Notice that this has already started to lighten. So can you see like the difference? Although I'm laying basically the same color or the value down, this is darker now because it's had some time to dry. So as ink dries, it lightens. Oops, I went a little bit too dark there. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna pull a little bit off with my blankie. Not the worst thing in the world that I could do. All right, and we've got this happening here. Okay, I'm gonna do the last dark area. Do these kind of dark spots here. Oh, no dripping. Notice also how fast this goes, like how fast the figure of the cow comes up. When we're working with, and you can see I crunched, so I have to leave out a little bit of that left side of her. I didn't quite leave myself enough room. Okay, well, this is inked. But notice how quickly things start to come out. Let's see, what do I want to do now? Now, I want to do, I want to do a very light wash over the eye area. I want to sort of still be able to see. I want a little bit of a light wash here. I see that there are some interesting midtones happening here in the sort of base of the nose. I'm looking to see how much defining I can do with my brush. All right. And then when I feel pretty confident about where my darks are, oh yeah, and I think I would like to maybe shape the eye. There's that one eye she has there looking. I would at least like, and I'm doing this all with a brush, so nothing is that precise at the moment, right? Eye. Everything is very precise. Yeah, now she's kind of starting to look at us a little bit. Okay. So now I'm going to go in with straight ink in the darkest areas. Where are the darkest areas? Can you guys see them? Can you identify them?
Part on the face and guess the spots.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back over. So look, I can now go back over with really, once this has dried, which takes about 5 minutes, I can go back over with really dark ink. Now I notice that all of the darks on this cow are not equally dark. So I'm going to the darkest areas first. You'll see when you see that. I know it's a little bit hard to see in this particular light. I'm still kind of working around the eye. This is straight ink now, no water. You can see it kind of goes dark. I can always go and make things darker. And look at even this area, which I just laid with dark, got lighter. I can feel you all looking at me like, okay, when is this actually going to look like a drawing or a painting? We're getting there. We're getting there. It's but it's just a kind of an awkward, you know, and if you'll notice, what have I probably been going, what, like not that long? I think 5-10 minutes. Yeah. But it still looks pretty loose. Yeah, so now we have the shape of cow. I mean, we don't have any details. We definitely have the shape of cow. This is all straight ink. So now I'm just going straight into my ink bottle with no water, no testing even, because I know what it's going to do. And I know these are super dark areas. Kind of preserving that line right now. I don't really need to. And the other thing I like about ink, it kind of forces you to go with what you do. And see all this kind of funky drying spots that happen? That's also kind of a creation of texture. We can't really control it because we don't know exactly what it's going to do. Yeah. Yeah, now we're starting to have, oh yeah, definitely that's starting to look cow-like. Okay. So now is the time to bring in the ink pen. I'm going to start by dipping and adding in a few contour lines. So I'm going to start by dipping the pen into my ink bottle directly. I'm just doing that right now. Cat hair. All right. And then I'm going to do a few outlines. Oh, so much cat hair. There's cat hairs on here. It's driving me crazy. All right. I'm going to do a few outlines. I have to keep dipping in the ink. And yeah, there's some interesting shaping happening here. So you'll notice that I'm actually kind of outlining some contour lines on the outside of the cow. There's an upper lip and a lower lip. I definitely have to go darker here, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to wait till I get some of these contour lines. Yeah, there we go. There's a little bit of, and I have to keep going back to the ink. That's nice. You can't keep drawing with this. So it's a natural kind of slow down mechanism. There we go. Let's go into that eye. I want to make sure I get the eye in the right place. Yeah. Now I can go. So you see, I've laid out these darks, but they're not that, they're not super dark. You know, they've dried to become midtones and even kind of lights. Somehow I was smart enough. There's a little light white line here. And she's got a little bit of a light spot in the top of her eye. Sandra, I know you're very attuned to those.
Yes, I can vaguely see it in a picture.
You'll see it when I put it up on the screen. I'm not sure why the lights. So I'm trying to preserve that here and underneath. So yeah, already she's starting to look. And then I know I can kind of go darker up here. I can get darker around the eye with my brush. Notice I'm just kind of working.
By the way, Leah, the pen, you never dip it in water, is that right?
Never, yeah. You'll just use that for your sort of
Okay.
dark contour lines. Good question.
Because it would damage it?
It just, you won't get any ink out of it.
Right.
I think
Oh, right,
it'll
right,
be
right.
okay, but I just think you won't have success. I'm coming down here to add some kind of darker areas in here. It gets darker. Oh yeah, now she's starting to come out. Look, she's starting to look at us. And look at I am always amazed by ink because I feel like ink, whether I like it or not, shows the marks I like to make. This is a very expressive, gestural cow. Let's see what else is happening. All right, so I may want, and I'm going to come back and work around that eye, but in a bit. It's kind of light around the very edge. Yes, we need a few more contour lines. So I'm going to go in and add a few contour lines on the outline here. So I just am kind of using, so the other thing I like about ink, and this is a tricky thing to explain for new people, but let me see if I can put it into words. Look at how just adding that line kind of pulled her together.
It's beginning to look great, actually.
I know, and there's not that much detail in it, right? Like
No.
just adding,
no.
So the reason that line really pulled these pieces together is that our whites are already kind of highlighted and we have this combination of marks. So some of our marks are very splashy and soft, right? Soft edged because of the brush. But some of our marks, that means some of our marks are very strong contour lines. So this combination of mark making, and I can even come in here, even though I don't want to muck up too much, I can come in here.
So the splashy lines on the body, you
Mhm.
never, you don't go over a pen with?
You
The
could if
outline?
you wanted to, if you felt like it. Let's see what happens when we do. I was just looking
Okay.
at that and wondering myself. You could, if you want to, could look kind of neat. Or it could like not add that much at all, right? So yeah, you can use the outlines. Look, I'm even going around this. That actually even helps a little bit.
I noticed you left a white in between the body and the face, which works really well.
Yeah. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to keep that or not, so I just
think you
preserved
should.
that. I think you're right. I agree with you. So anything I'm not sure about, I'm leaving. Yeah, that's a really interesting. Is anybody's mind getting blown right now? Mine is. Mine is. I never get over, because I feel like I can't predict this. So here's the thing that's really amazing about ink. And I'm going to do one or two more things, and then I'm going to have you guys jump in and try it, or just jump in and do a pencil drawing. Ink tells me more than anything what my marks are. So you'll notice as an artist, you're going to get to this point where you hate everything you do. And I want to liken that to like, but here I cannot avoid what I do, right? My marks are very clear. I can't get rid of them. Like I have to work with what I have. Like, and so there's a kind of a lack of control, but it's also this sort of beautiful thing of allowing your voice to come out, because with ink, you know, ultimately you don't really erase, although you can certainly erase. You can see, if you look really close here, I'll hold this up so you can see. Look at, there's these sort of splashy lines that are coming in and out, but they don't really, there we go. See that? But they actually, the structure lines kind of inform those and help those. So they are not sort of bothersome. So you really have to work with your own marks. I think the only other thing I would do is go back in with a kind of light, very light gray, because the bottom section here is kind of darker. And same here, there's a little light area. Be careful if it's darker down here. The whites, even though it's a white area, it's not, oh, and look, and be careful. See, look what happened here. I touched wet ink with water. Touch ink. This is waterproof ink, so once it dries, it won't run. But while it's still wet, so pretty much everything under the cow here is dark. I'm gonna add one or two. So, does anybody have any questions? Maybe I'm gonna go try and make this eye a little bit darker here using my brush. And maybe I'm gonna, yeah. There we go. Yeah, she's starting
No,
to
that
come
looks
out.
even better.
Yeah, right? But, yeah. So
Yeah, are you using a normal round tip brush?
I'm using this Sumi brush, which looks, let me get one that's dry so you can see what it looks like when it's dry.
Okay.
It's like the moment the eye comes together, it's complete. Even if it's not maybe technically.
So they can look like this when they're dry.
Okay.
When they're
Okay.
dry, they can get kind of poofy. When you dip them in water, they kind of move up to a point. Whoops, there we go. They move up to a point. See that? So this is a dry one, this is a wet one. I'll dip the dry one in the water or the ink, and you'll see it moves up to kind of a point.
Okay.
So
I don't have this. Can I use
these are
a
Sumi brushes, and that is their ink brushes. They're designed for this kind of thing. I love these materials. I feel like I can imagine like some dude at the entry between Mongolia and I don't know, Kazakhstan, when people are going into the Mongolian Empire, writing down, what are you bringing in? 10 cows, blah, 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 it's very old implements. I really like them. So your brush should, if it's a proper brush, should sort of round up to a tip when you get it wet.
I
I
think
have a
really
normal round tip
questions
brush. Can I
about
use that?
Before you start this yourself? And like I said, we're going to return to ink probably in October. So whoever wants to do this, and those of you who don't want to do ink, you can just keep working in pencil, or you can work in charcoal, or any other number of things. But I wanted to introduce the concept of working with ink. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say about ink that's really amazing is it really forces you to focus not only on your own mark making, but also really to see the bigger lights and darks. So like charcoal, we work by preserving very strong lights and darks. This cow does not have very much detail. There's very little detail in here. I'm not like doing all the fur. I'm not paying attention much to this or that. You know what I mean? I'm really paying attention to the dark and light contrast. And then these simple little lines kind of add all the structure that we need. She's really cute, isn't she?
Leo, could you send us the picture,
cow.
please? With and
Oh,
without
big cow.
lines.
She's really massive. She's a massive cow. So I am going to turn off this. I'm going to send a picture of this across so those of you who are working in ink can try it.
Thanks, Leo. Can you please send us the version with lines and the version without, please?
And come up here. All right. Wait. Am I? Sorry, I haven't left the meeting yet. There we go. All right. So now if you want to see me, go back to gallery view. I am now just on the regular screen. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to share with you, hang on, I'm going to share with you the source outlined. Hold on here, give me just a second. Computer is a little slow today. Where are you, Messenger? Ah, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so here is your first view of the cow. We're gonna go this way. Nope. Oh, I thought I sent these. All right, I'm going to start by showing you the cow. So I've got her up on a screen. I'm going to share that with you. And if you're going to be working with a pencil, I want you to start gridding. If you're going to be working with ink, you don't need a grid. Let's see, maximize, share. Here she is. All right, can you all see her? Can you see her now?
Yes.
Ah, yes.
Excellent.
Thank
Why
you.
am I not?
Did you send it to the trail? No.
Something has happened to my, for some reason I'm not hearing you. Hold on, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm not muted. Strange. Must be these. Oh, yes. Now I can hear you. Say
Can you
something,
hear us?
somebody. Yes, now I can hear you. Sorry,
Ah,
I had my
cool.
headphones like turned
Yeah,
down.
you were completely ignoring us.
I am sorry. I'm so mean, and I just gave you the most newest, hardest assignment.
Ask you so many questions, so many questions.
All right. Ask me your questions now.
Can you
So-
send it on the...
Yeah, I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna create, so I have to create the thread and then I'm gonna send it, but you guys can
Okay.
at least get started. And let's see here. And I feel like I had a photo of this, which I just didn't have up on Facebook yet. So actually, I'm not only gonna do that, I'm gonna send this over.
Is this a picture or is this a painting of
This
a
is
cow?
a photo. I took a photo of my friends. I have a friend. I visited friends in Scotland who have a farm in January. So, and I always do a photo shoot with this cow. I'm going to stop the share for just a, wait, maybe I can just pull it down. No, I have to stop the share for just a second. I have the outline that you're going to start with too. So let me.
It's interesting, Leah, this paper, because I took Sumier, ink painting a
Yeah.
long time ago in London with a Chinese guy.
Yeah.
And we worked on a large paper, but it felt very similar to newsprint.
Yeah, no, this stuff is very different. It's like super sturdy and very smooth, right?
It's nice,
like
yeah.
it's super smooth. Yeah, it's like it supports ink.
Yeah, the other paper would curl up.
Totally. All right, so hold on. I'm just getting up there. I'm just getting the next one because this one actually has the outline of what I want you to do first. And share. It's funny. find it interesting how teaching like this requires me to go back to my left and right brain, you know, like when I'm doing the demo, I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted to do.
Oh, that's great.
Here, that's the picture. Hold on. We want this.
But we want the picture as well.
Yeah, you do want the picture as well. I'll send that over, but I want to show you the grid. There's the grid. So can you see once you draw your grid, can you guys see the orange lines?
Yes.
These are the first ones.
Okay, yeah. This helps.
You're going to
thanks.
draw. Yes.
Back to the grid.
Yes. Yes. So back to the grid. Yes. Although you don't have to.
No, I want to. It's my safe space.
Yes.
It's good to go.
I understand. I totally understand. And you're still new to drawing. So, you know, maybe after a year of drawing with and without the grid, you're going to feel more comfortable. But like, yes, drawing it still helps. There's still a lot that we're learning. All right. So let me see who's here. WhatsApp. Group. Okay, so we have. Sandra, Diana, kind of. Rashmi. So those of you who are interested in charcoal, you can also, if you've been practicing with charcoal, you can do this in charcoal. I wonder where Claudia is. Or Claudia, are you here? And I just didn't see you come in.
Oh, I haven't seen her either.
Yeah, it's
She was
weird.
so excited about the ink.
I know, and that's unlike her. All right, well,
I'll text her.
yeah, find out where she is. I'll be doing more. I might do one or two more. Hi, Lana. Nice to see you. Oh gosh, this is a big old class. I think I got everybody. Rashmi. All right, let's go
When we
ahead.
have the orange one, we just start with the
You start
dark,
with drawing the orange lines,
and then
and then I'll give you purple lines. Hang on just a second. What's today? Today's July 24th. This is block 4 art. Let me get this to you because I want to give you. All right. First, I'm going to send you a picture of this. Actually, first, I'll send across a picture of the next step.
Oh, yes. I mean,
You had it.
yes, please. And the without. Yeah.
And without, I can do that. I can do
Thanks.
that. Take me a minute, but I can grab it. Okay, so step 2. So step 2, I'm sending across the thread right now, and then I'll put it up. I just want you to get it now.
Cow has a really long face.
What?
This cow has a really long face.
Cows have long faces. Yeah, way longer than you think.
I guess you have a long nose.
Let's see. Make sure I know what's that. That's what I want to do.
There's room for a long face joke here.
All right. Okay, so here is the next step coming across the thread. Now I will put it, and Sandra, in a minute, I will get up the cow. I have to send it to, oh, so many things. Okay, I might just send on, there we go. I'm going to send you the next 2 steps so you have them. Purple is the next line and yellow is the third one.
The spots don't have to be the exact spots.
No, I think you have a little flexibility here. That's why animals are helpful because, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. You
some
can,
of them
as
are
you
kind
can
of
see,
symmetrical.
I don't really have like, yeah, some of them are symmetrical, some of them aren't.
the cow spots are not.
All right, I'm going to take this down for a second. I'm going to take this down just for a second, so because I just added up the next one. Can you guys see this one?
Yes.
All right, so after you get the orange lines, you're gonna draw in the purple lines. And once you've got the purple lines in, you're gonna draw in the yellow lines. Can anybody tell me by looking what the yellow lines are dividing? What are they doing?
The
What are they-
extreme
yellow-
whites.
The really white.
Yes, A plus. Exactly. So those are what we call the midtones, right? They're between light and dark. So we start by defining our lights and our darks, and then we look for the midtones, the darker areas that are here and there. All right. Sandra, let me see if I can find this picture of this cow. I might have to. Sandra, can you give me about 5 or 10 minutes on the cow, actual picture of the
Sure.
cow? Because I don't think I have it on my phone. So
You
I might
showed
have
you
to-
showed it to us 2 seconds ago. It was the
It's on the
actual.
computer, but it's not on my phone. So I have to get it. It's on my computer, so I have to email it from my computer
okay.
to my phone.
Leah,
Ha,
Leah, you
yes.
can open your WhatsApp on the browser on your laptop and then just copy it there.
Oh, okay. Thank
WhatsApp
God
for web.
Thank God. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm going to pull this down for just a second.
You'll just have to sync your phone WhatsApp to your web WhatsApp.
All right, I will do it. I will do it. I can't do it right now, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. So hang on. Let me get the
Otherwise, we could just
initial-
photograph a screen.
Yeah, let me get the initial picture. Where the hell is it? Okay, I'm like, it's here somewhere. I pulled so many things from so many places. Let's see. Harry, I think that's Harry. EFG. And there she is. Okay. Give me just, yeah, take just a little stretch break, guys, while I get this going, and then I'll get her back up. Oh, for Lord's sake. I should have emailed this to myself earlier. I didn't even think about it. Come on, come on.
We'll wait. No problem.
Yeah, give me just a second. We can go a little bit longer too. Come on. Everything's a little slow today, including me. Okay, come on. Yeah, all of this, it's interesting how hard it is to kind of streamline everything so you can get it all in the right places, have it easily grabbable. Harry. Okay, it's coming. Right, now I can put this back up. Okay. Ready, guys? I'm going to share to you, and then across the thread, I'm going to share the actual picture.
Thank you.
Here we are. Back up. Okay.
Can you please interchange the number?
I can't hear you, kind of. Can you say that again?
I sent you a chat.
Oh, you sent me a chat. Let's see that.
Ooh,
Oh,
secret
sure.
text.
Sure. It'll take me a minute, kind of, but I will. Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Actually, kinda, I'm gonna have you call my phone number, okay? Because trying to add you onto this is like, that's the last thing. Can you actually, I'm gonna give you my phone number on the chat. You find me, okay? Here it is, 19-347. I can do that for you. There you go.
Thank you. I just added it now.
It's coming, the original. Okay, so here's the original picture without
Oh, great, thank you.
the detail. It's gone across the thread. And now I'm gonna take a picture of the ink drawing that I did. So you guys can take a look at that too. Is anybody not, did I miss anybody? Is anybody not receiving the WhatsApp text? Oh, she's so cute. Actually, this one really has an attitude. She's very, Harry's really spoiled. All right, there's my sample. I've started putting the dates first on these because I realize they're hard to find. It's hard to determine one WhatsApp thread from the other. So I don't know. I know Rashmi is trying this, and I know Sandra is trying this. Who else? Is anybody else trying this?
No, not me.
Okay. If anybody's interested in trying this, please send me an email, and I will send you materials that you can get. And we'll return to this technique in, I think we might do it in one of the figure drawing classes, but we'll definitely return to this technique in October. All of October will be ink. We'll do everything in ink, whatever we're doing to celebrate Inktober. I don't know if you guys know about Inktober, but it's a kind of international thing where every day you do an ink drawing in October. Of course, we will not be.
I did not know that.
Yes, so
No,
it's
I'd never
kind
heard
of
of
a
it either.
fun challenge. So I thought like October will always be here, ink months.
I'm trying to paint a goat and I've never even drawn a goat. So
Oh, I love
Goats are
goats.
fantastic. God, what crazy, wonderful creatures. And they have these crazy eyes.
yeah, just realized.
They
I
feel
love-
very old to me, like ancient, with those crazy square pupils or rectangular pupils, and they're fantastic. I have a farm I go up to a lot to visit, and I've been painting the goats on the farm, and some of the goats are just smiling, like they're like,
This one is mine.
here. And if you think I'm kidding, here, I'm gonna get a picture of one of the goats just to show you.
I just like the face you made.
I showed you my face. Can you see it?
Yes,
That's a smiling goat.
it is. Most of the goats that I've encountered are either when I was a kid in Dehradun or in the mountains when I go now. And they
Yeah.
always have this curious face, like a meerkat. They're like, "What? You talking to me? What? What? Are you looking at me? What?"
Well, I can't find the photo, but I'll show you the painting I'm doing. You can, if you want to look up on my screen and look at this flippin' goat.
Oh, that's cute.
And that's what she's doing.
Let's
She is
see, wait.
She is
Oh,
smiling.
I love that.
She
I love
is smiling. And so is the one in the back. The one in the back goes, grins like this.
Yeah, you do a good impression of them, Leah.
Yeah, yeah, I like them. They're pretty fun. There's definitely goated me. Looking good, Shivani. So now, once you've got all those outlines in, you start by adding in the darks, as always. So start, sketching in the darkest areas first. Whether you're, so that's the other thing I think I like about being able to show you guys is the process is, some parts of the process are still the same. We're still focusing on light and dark and working those dark areas first. It's just how we work them and what we do with the lights. In a painting, most of the time, unless you're doing watercolor, we paint the white areas darker and then we put lights on top. But in a drawing or in ink, we actually preserve the lights and then really push the darks. So we're always working from the darks.
What are the yellow lines for?
The yellow lines are showing the difference between the dark and light white areas. They're showing the midtones. They're showing where things get darker. Down here, your whites are actually not white. They're more like a 2 or a 3. This is a 3 on a value scale of 1 to 5. And this is a 2 on the value scale of 1 to 5. And this is 1 up here. So it's showing the different, there's more than there's more than lights and darks. There are lights, there are mediums, there are darks, there are light mediums, there are dark mediums. So on a value scale, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, does that make sense? So this is basically showing you where the divisions are, where you go from dark, sort of medium to lighter, and then from lighter to light, from medium to darker medium. This is pretty dark down here, actually, even though this is a white area of this cow, but it is not white when you're drawing it. It's more like a 3 on a scale of 1 to 5. That can be confusing for people. People think, oh, if it's white, I have to keep it white, but that's not true. You want to stop thinking about this as white, right? White, and thinking more about light and dark. So light and dark are more versatile terms, and you're less likely to get stuck on them. I'm gonna sit down for just a second.
See what Claudia says.
Yeah, where's Claudia?
Oh, on my way back to Paris, was in the north of Germany.
Oh, wow.
For
So
German
did
today.
something bad happen, or did she just go on vacation?
She's worked for German TV.
Okay, sometimes that happens. Tell her, don't worry, we'll do more ink. I might do another ink. Oh, anyway, I'll figure out a way to insert another ink drawing. We'll see. Maybe I'll do another one next week, or next time we meet.
I think it's good to not leave it so long until October.
Yeah. So maybe
Just so we can explore
I'll
a bit
spend a
more.
little bit more with ink, and then those of you who want to can do it.
Oh, I messed up. Never mind. You're going to be a different cow.
Are you recording the session?
I
Yes,
put
I'm
some
totally
black and
recording the
white.
session. I am. I'm recording this session. Absolutely. Although, why am I not seeing the session being recorded? I started
It's
recording the session.
Recording.
I know when I'm, it is, yeah, we're still recording. Do you think, you guys, it's useful to record after this point, to record the questions? Or do you think this is a good time to stop the recording?
It depends whether you're going to give us more guidance. Sometimes as we're working, you give us more guidance.
That's true. All right, so I'll hang
But
out
you
a
gave
little
us a
bit
lot today,
longer.
so.
I gave you a lot today in the front end, so I'll probably stop the recording now.